Bitcoin is flirting with the 50,000 price. By the time I recorded this video for a couple of days ago, Bitcoin was trading around 49,000. I wasn't able to post this video, unfortunately, because I live in Texas and we've been dealing with, power outage, no water, no energy, no anything for the last week. So with the current development of Bitcoin trading and the price where it's at now, this makes this video even more valuable for you. So you don't want to miss the end. Stick to the end, guys, because the information I was able to put together for you guys, it's very, very useful. So is it time to buy? As we'll dip into some articles, some news that popped during last week, during Friday, which we'll analyze and give our opinion on whether or not it's time to get into the crypto world and Bitcoin specifically. So what is behind this whole thing, about this whole focus, this whole light shining around Bitcoin? So first of all, as I mentioned earlier, if you can see here, Tesla buys 1.5 billion of Bitcoin and plans to accept it as a payment. So this was disclosed by Tesla on the SEC filing back in February 8th, so Monday. But not only that, we can see also that here, guys, MasterCard also will let merchants accept payments in crypto this year. I think this is already the case for PayPal and Visa. Those two big card fabricants and card providers worldwide are also now joining the Bitcoin network. So this is huge, guys. This is huge. Why? Because not only companies like Tesla are also joining the network, meaning that in order to buy in Bitcoin, you don't necessarily need to convert it to USD or to whatever currency you for the country you are residing in order to buy Tesla car, or maybe buying another product on the internet, because the transaction cost or the conversion cost into the actual different currency, it's kind of it's not a challenge, but it's limiting people from actually getting involved in huge volume, just because you never know, it's volatile, it's an asset. So by the time you convert, it may be less than what you were owning or you were holding on before the actual conversion. So the fact that more and more people can buy services and products from companies, from real companies, using Bitcoin, it gives them another confidence, and this will bring definitely volume, because more people transacting into Bitcoin means more people wanting to own, meaning less people wanting to sell in order to convert into those currencies. That's bullish, man. That's a bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. So another article here, this is Morgan Stanley, another big US bank, investment bank, and also into Bitcoin as we speak. They decided to join or to consider a 150 billion investment arm, which will be dedicated to Bitcoin itself. So this is something big, guys. This is something big, because analysts here at Morgan Stanley, actually, they say there has the potential to strongly compete with the dollar, but they acknowledge that in a recent report, the more investors hold Bitcoin, the weaker its appeal to be used as a currency becomes. So the fact that more and more investment banks, and we will see that here, that also, at a time, JP Morgan is also consider getting into Bitcoin at some point, says the co-president. And I think this was actually released on February 12th, so last Friday. So here it says, if over time an asset class develops that is going to be used by different asset managers and investors, will have to be involved, definitely. So the demand isn't there yet, but I'm sure it will be at some point. So they are eyeing the fact that Bitcoin is going mainstream in order to be ready by the time Bitcoin can potentially be accepted as an asset class. And in the case it is, then more and more investors will definitely want to hold Bitcoin, because the fact that Bitcoin is now getting more and more popular is because it is being viewed as a safe haven. Exactly like gold, meaning whenever the stocks are crashing, whenever bonds are crashing, like we saw in 2020, even though these two assets have an opposite correlation, but 2020 was a very special year. So both of them tanked at the same time. So people were kind of, putting their money into something that will retain the value of the money over time, or even the fact that Bitcoins, exploded. That's a huge benefit for those wanting to just park and store money for the time that the crisis goes over, and then get back into stocks and bonds. So that is something that actually was a very bullish case. And JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley and other banks, are kind of getting ready when this will start being, widely accepted or adopted as an asset class. As a matter of fact, some of the oldest Bank New York Mellon, will custody Bitcoin. So for those of you who don't know what a custody is, custodian, it's kind of depository. So whenever you are transferring money or you're buying shares between the buyer and the seller, it needs to be a depository or custody, meaning someone or an entity that will actually get the shares or get the money, whether in an electronical form or physical form, and then delivers, to whoever bought and whoever sold. So the fact that the oldest bank in America is saying that they're going to custody Bitcoin, meaning that they're going to accept, in other words, they're accepting Bitcoin as a currency. They are accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. They are accepting Bitcoin, as, I don't want to use the word asset class at this point, but definitely because people, if Tesla and other companies, throughout the world are already accepting payments, in Bitcoins from their customers, definitely Bank New York is positioning itself to be one of the major to do that. And I don't think any other bank in the US or any other country in the world at this point make this move. So this is also something that can give a huge competitive edge to Bank New York Mellon in this cryptocurrency world. So another very bullish sentiment here for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as in general. Now, another big news, from February 12 as well. The Australian regulators are open to Bitcoin ETF with rules in place. So the Australian Securities and Investment Commission has clarified its position around Bitcoin exchange traded funds. So basically they're saying for any products to be quoted on their exchange markets in Australia, they need to have rules in place to facilitate the quoting and the transactions. So if Bitcoin is part of those asset class, they need to have some rules in place in order to manage the transaction and investment on those. Again, this is another bullish news and catalyst for Bitcoin, because the fact that a regulator of the US financial markets in Australia are willing and open to consider, a Bitcoin ETF. This is huge. It means Bitcoin can definitely be adopted and accepted as an asset class or even a safe haven, like gold. And then again, the first North American Bitcoin ETF is set to trade on Toronto Stock Exchange. Again, news from February 14, 2021 from bitcoin.com. And you can find this article, on bitcoin.com and also Yahoo Finance or whoever, cryptocurrency major newspaper. So the ETF will be the first in the whole wide world to invest directly in physically settled Bitcoin, not derivatives, allowing investors easy and efficient access to the emerging asset class of cryptocurrency without the associated risk of self-custody within a digital wallet. So basically, they're saying this ETF will invest into physically settled Bitcoin in order to offset, the fact that you can hold Bitcoin as a digital wallet, just not just holding in order to store or to keep your money there, but really investing into Bitcoin as an asset class. Like you have ETFs holding, shares of the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. There will be an ETF, holding physically settled Bitcoin and other. I don't know if at this point it will hold other cryptocurrencies, but it seems like it will only be holding Bitcoin. So again, this is something that I will definitely be interested into as an investor, because at this point I don't really own a Bitcoin for now, because I mean it's too expensive for my buying power for the moment. But I'll be definitely be interested into getting into this ETF because it reduces the risk by diversifying into all of those physically settled Bitcoin. So another bullish news for the Bitcoin. And then finally, I want us to finish here with these 6 crypto experts who gave their sentiment following the fact that Tesla invested 1.5 billion into Bitcoin. So first of all, the first one here says Tesla Bitcoin acquisition is a strong signal for a new era of integration between the cryptocurrency ecosystem and the mainstream business, in which tokens increasingly act as not only a store of value, but tangible medium of exchange. The second one said here, this moment will likely be looked upon in years to come as a genuine tipping point. Elon and Tesla support legitimizes crypto and opens up Bitcoin to a whole new class of retail and institutional investors. Now, it seems like all of Wall Street is in bed with this industry. If they weren't paying attention before, they are now. Oh yeah, definitely they are. The fact that we have, all these regulators, all these, banks getting into it, the custody from a Bank of New York Mellon. Tesla, so here's another opinion from the expert. Tesla and Bitcoin, the archetypes of volatility, inevitably meet again because there are tools that came about because of frustration and courage, to paraphrase the old saying. Not really interested here. And then the final one here. So the richest person in the world just told you he does not believe in holding dollars as a long-term store of value. We have heard from the smartest investor in the world, and now we have heard from the richest people in the world that they agree that having 5 to 10% of your net worth in Bitcoin is a critical part of a well-diversified portfolio. Again, this expert is, agreeing, kind of going along with my opinion that more and more people will definitely consider Bitcoin as a safe haven or as an asset class like gold. Just not only to park money, but to store and to increase the value of some of your money in order to diversify your portfolio. So, and finally here, the fact that Tesla moved further gives the industry validation and shows crypto resiliency as an asset class. Again, guys, all of these experts, their opinions that they are giving on Bitcoin, just to to me, this is just a very, very bullish sentiment for Bitcoin. Now, all of this to say that I don't see Bitcoin, even though it will retrace, because I don't think it can continue to grow and grow and grow without, pulling back. But these pullbacks, in case we have, will definitely be healthy, because this is something, all of these investment banks and custody banks and all of the news I just shared with you guys, all of these articles, they are definitely bullish, and all of those are from February 12th, from last week, so from 8 to 12 of February. So definitely we can already see that here, the day range, Bitcoin is flirting with 50,000. So next week will definitely be very interesting into how Bitcoin trades. Now, should you invest in Bitcoin? My answer to that is yes. We should also consider starting putting at least a minimum of our net worth, or whatever we have available into Bitcoin, because it seems like it's the currency of the future. It's a new way of payment, and people will start using those to buy Teslas. So Tesla, whenever you pronounce Tesla, it rhymes with future, with evolution, with revolution. So I'm definitely considering putting more money into Tesla, but at this point I won't put more than 1% of my net worth, just because it's still at the early stages of being adopted. But I definitely think this is something we'll have to consider in the coming months. And then some people like Katie Woods, the ARK Invest CFO and CEO, are considering or predicting Bitcoin price to hit 500,000 in the coming years. And I think another expert was giving 100,000, price prediction before the end of 2021 for Bitcoin. So at this pace, I think there is a huge possibility that we'll get that prediction into reality. So tell me in the comment section, guys, what you really think about Bitcoin. Do you think this is something that will be, replacing gold as a safe haven? Do you think it's something that's worth investing or putting your money now? Let me know in the comment section, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.